Welcome back. If you've been following these videos in order, you should at this point know how to use the design tools to create a basic page with some content. In this video, we will look specifically at images and videos. I'm going to imagine that here in my introduction section, I want to provide some video, or actually I want to do an image that goes along with a brief introduction of myself. You're probably already accustomed to uploading images using Canvas's Embed image tool. DesignPLUS offers a new tool. It looks like this, the Upload Embed Image feature. You may have to click on this little V in order to expand your options to get to this. So I want to put an image here. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to choose an image. And since I don't have one readily available of myself, we're going to use the cover of A Wrinkle in Time. You can see that when I put this in, the selection box does not cover the author's name. So I can slide that down and over to get just the part of the cover that I want. A couple of other things that I will point out in this window. You have some basic editing tools here. You can resize the image, and I have found that I often get this wrong, so I usually choose the larger number and select 100, knowing that I can resize later. You will also see a notification here that the image can fill 6% of the full canvas content width without distorting. What that means is that the quality of the image is not particularly good, and if I try to go over 6% of the width of my window, it's going to start looking kind of funky. Finally, I can choose an aspect ratio, and we'll talk in a few minutes about why that might be important, but you can see if I choose a 1:1, it changes my selection window to a square. I can always click reset. Apparently that does not reset the ratio, but I'm going to come back into here. We'll do a 2:3, drag my window over. Then I'm going to click crop image, and you can see it brings in only the portion that I selected. It asks me to provide a file name. This will go into my Canvas files. Then I can either upload the image or upload and embed it, which is what I'm going to do. And you can see that that then drops that image in very nicely. You will remember from our previous session the tool right here, the Jump to Current Element Style panel. This lets us do some things with the image. If I start writing here, I'm sure you have all had this problem before, where you try to get text wrapped nicely around an image and it just doesn't work in Canvas very well. So if I put my cursor on my image and then click on the Current Element Style, you can see here I have some options. First of all, I probably do want to give this an alt text for screen readers. And I can adjust the height or the width. Actually, I kind of like where this one is, but if I wanted to, I could make it smaller. And then I can choose my image alignment. And you can see when I select one of those, suddenly the text wraps very nicely. If I click the middle one, it puts it in the center with text below. If I click Right Justify, it moves it there. I can also pick a style for the image. If I decide that I don't like just the plain old square, I can click on this one and give it some rounded corners. So there's a good bit that we can do with images right there. Now that we know how to work with the Upload and Embed Image tool, we can start changing out the banner image. First of all, if I select this, in my Create and Edit Content, I can choose a banner image, and you'll find here a number of kind of standard Lenoir-Rhyne images that we can put into the page. If I wanted Martin Luther, I could simply select that and it dumps it into the page. But let's say that I have a customized banner that I want to use. I can select my image, come back to the Upload Embed Image tool, choose an image, and I'm actually going to go to an image that I created for our FYE classes. You can see here that I have an image called FYE Acculturation Banner, and if I click Open, it will put that in there, and I want to show the whole banner. Note down here, the image can fill 100% of the full canvas content without distorting. That's really important for a banner image. If it shows less than that, then your banner is not going to look very nice. I can click Crop and Resize, and I can click Upload and Embed. And you can see that this swaps out my banner image so that it looks like this. I mentioned earlier the importance of the aspect ratio. I'm going to use the stock image right here. If I choose an aspect ratio that is anything other than 10:3, you can see that it does not work well at all as a banner image, especially when we come into the browser view. So be sure that you're choosing a 10:3 aspect ratio. There are certain of the themes that absolutely require that. Let's move on to talking about video, and this is bothering me enough that I'm going to put back the correct image size. Let's say that I want to put in here a YouTube video, and I'm going to come over here into Google Chrome. And let's use Sleepy Puppy Falls Asleep on Baby. Who would not want to see that? Depending on your political perspective, you may not wish to see Joe Biden, but he has an advertisement on this one. Many of you know that you can simply paste the link in and you will get a little thumbnail YouTube preview. Most of us who design courses think that that does not look particularly good, and it looks better if the video is embedded in your Canvas page. To do that, you're going to use Canvas's Insert Edit Media tool. And then you can select Embed. And you should note on any YouTube video, and other types of content will allow you to do this as well. If I click Share, I can select Embed. And then there's a bunch of code. I don't really know what it means, but I know that if I copy it and paste it into my page, it will pull the video in so that students can watch it directly from my Canvas site. This is the one piece where your design current element doesn't do a whole lot. Instead, for videos and other embedded content, you want to use the Iframes panel. Here again, you can select the alignment, and you can see I'm kind of sliding it around on the page. I can adjust the height and width of it. That looks a little bit too big for me, so let's set the width at 300. And it just creates a smaller window for students to view the video in. That's actually probably too small to be comfortable for students. You probably always want to click the Scale Proportionally option for your iframes. That will allow them to adjust to the size of the window that a student is viewing the work in. Now you know how to work with images and videos in your DesignPLUS tools. When we come back for part 4, we'll continue our learning.